Today we're going to talk about something you've seen a million times but maybe never really thought about. We're going to follow an invisible river, one that flows straight up, against gravity, all powered by the sun. You know this scene, right? One day your houseplant is looking great, perky, and then the next, it's a sad, droopy mess. We just say it's thirsty, but what is actually happening inside that plant?
It sounds like a really simple question, doesn't it? But the answer, well, it involves this incredible journey, a powerful natural engine, and a constant battle against the laws of physics. So, let's dive in.
To really get what keeps a plant alive, we have to start with what happens when it wilts, and it all comes down to a problem of pressure.
Okay, so check this out. On a microscopic level, you can think of plant cells as tiny little water balloons. When they're full of water, they get all firm and rigid. Scientists call this being turgid. All those firm cells push against each other, and that's what holds the plant upright. But when the plant starts losing water faster than it can drink it up, those cells deflate. They go limp, or flaccid. And that is exactly what we see as wilting.
Right, so to stop that from happening, a plant needs a constant, non-stop supply of water. This means it needs a super efficient way to get water from the soil all the way up to its highest leaves, fighting gravity every single inch of the way.
So how in the world does it do it? Well, it has its own built-in plumbing system. Water flows up in this continuous stream through these special tubes called the xylem. Seriously, just picture a massive organic straw running all the way from the deepest roots to the very tips of the leaves.
Now here is where it gets really cool. You'd probably assume the roots are pushing the water up, kind of like a pump, right? But that's not it at all. The whole system works by pulling water from the top. It's basically a giant suction force, and it all works because of two amazing properties of water. First up, we've got cohesion. See, water molecules really like to stick to each other. This creates this incredibly strong, unbroken chain of water, almost like a microscopic rope, stretching all the way from the soil up through the entire plant. And second, there's adhesion. The water molecules also stick to the sides of those xylem tubes. This helps fight gravity, keeping the whole water column from just sliding back down. So you get cohesion holding the chain together and adhesion holding it up. It's this combination that creates the tension to pull the water upwards.
Okay, so if this giant pulling force starts in the leaves, how does that actually work? What is the engine that's driving this whole operation? To find it, we've got to go microscopic. The engine is actually hidden deep inside the structure of a single leaf. So let's zoom way in.
And there it is. The inside of a leaf is actually really airy, full of these little air spaces. Water travels up to the surface of these internal cells and then it evaporates. It turns into water vapor. From there, that vapor drifts out of the leaf through thousands of tiny little pores called stomata. This whole process, this exhale of water vapor, is called transpiration. And here's the absolute key. As one single water molecule evaporates and leaves a stoma, it pulls on the next molecule in that water rope because of cohesion. That little tug gets transmitted all the way down the xylem to the roots, pulling the entire column of water up the plant. It's a silent, invisible, but incredibly powerful engine.
Now, you might be thinking, this seems kind of wasteful, right? A plant can lose something like 99% of the water it absorbs just out into the air. So why on earth do they do it? Why is this process so important?
Well, turns out it's absolutely vital. That constant stream of water acts like a conveyor belt, bringing essential minerals up from the soil. It provides the water needed to keep those cells firm and to fuel photosynthesis. And just like when we sweat, all that evaporation actually cools the leaves down, which is a lifesaver on a hot, sunny day. So we know why it's happening, we know how it's happening, but this whole thing is an invisible river. We can't see it. So how do scientists actually go about measuring it?
They use this really clever gadget called a photometer. Now, it doesn't actually measure the water leaving the leaves. Instead, it measures something that's directly related, the rate of water the plant is taking up. I mean, it makes sense, right? The plant is only drinking to replace the water it's losing.
And here's the genius part. You take a plant cutting, you seal it into this device. Then you let a single tiny air bubble into this very thin glass tube. As the plant drinks water to replace what it's transpiring from its leaves, it literally pulls that air bubble along the scale. So the faster the bubble moves, the faster the plant is transpiring. It's so clever.
So now, with our pedometer, we can finally see how the environment acts like a set of control dials, turning the speed of this invisible river up or down.
And this is what we find out. Honestly, the easiest way to think about it is like drawing your laundry on a clothesline. If it's windy, the wind blows away the damp air and transpiration speeds up. Higher temperature, water evaporates faster. More light, the plant opens up its little stomata pores to take in CO2 for photosynthesis, and more water gets out. All of those things crank up the speed. The only thing that really slows it down is humidity. If the air is already full of water, it's just a lot harder for more water to evaporate from the leaf. Simple as that.
So think about this the next time you look at a forest. Remember, you're not just looking at a bunch of trees. You are looking at a vast, silent biological engine. Millions of invisible rivers all flowing up into the sky, actively shaping our weather and our entire climate.